It's the very last episode of the Bourbon Bender Holiday Special, day number 24. Are you ready? Are you ready? Then let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's Christmas, bitches.
It's day number 24. Today's the very last day of this Advent Calendar review. Tomorrow's Christmas, so let's see the very last gifts that this box has to offer. Now, if you guys have been with me since the beginning, great. I'm glad that you've been watching. If you haven't, then please go back to the beginning and start over again because you really want to see how we led up to this point. However, for all of you guys and girls that have been with us from the very beginning and followed the story every single day, every single step of the way, thank you so much. You guys can stick around and see how the story ends because it's the very last day, and I think there's going to be something really special behind this tour. At least I hope so. Even if not, it's been a hell of a ride, and thank you so much for joining me on that ride. Without further ado, I think it's high time that we reveal what's behind door number 24. Dim the lights, please. Of course it's Woodford Reserve. Of course! I knew it was. I knew it had to be Woodford Reserve because we haven't had anything from Woodford Reserve yet. And what is it? Woodford Reserve Masters Collection Sonoma-Cutrer Finish Pinot Noir Barrels. You know, like, I must have said this at least 20 times in the last 24 episodes, but, you know, I haven't really had anything from the Woodford Reserve distillery in this case. And I'm really glad that it was saved best for last, really, because, like, this is easily one of my most favorite and treasured distilleries out there. Product of Brown-Forman, but the Woodford Reserve is my go-to bourbon anywhere I go, anytime I want, like, a high-quality product. And I just don't want to, like, you know, break the bank or anything like that, but I know I'm going to get the quality every time I drink this. This particular bottle, I have never had these before. They release these Reserve Masters collections every single year, usually in a 3-bottle series. The average going price for a bottle is like $120 each. Very hard to come by. And many times they won't even ship to New York State, where I live. Like, even on caskers, some of them aren't even available. So, like, this is going to be a real treat to really give this guy a go. The Pinot Noir barrels, like, I haven't done a ton of research on these because they tend to do a lot of different blends. Like, one of them they use Chardonnay, others they do like sherry finishes, almost like a Scotch would do. But I'm really interested to see how this tastes, if it has like a lot of like dark fruit flavors and like even if you get any of that grape flavor off of it too. So this is going to be like a really great last bourbon to kind of bid farewell to this box. And you know what? It's kind of like I'm getting exactly what I wanted from Santa at the end of the day. I finally got my Woodford, so. All that being said, I guess it's time that I open this bottle up and try it. Conveniently, I just bought a gift box of Woodford Reserve at my local liquor store, and I got this lovely engraved and branded Woodford Reserve glass, which I was going to break out for tonight's show anyway, just because it's new and it looks really cool. So now it's even more fitting because I'm able to drink Woodford out of it to kind of christen it for the show. So without further ado, I think I'm going to pop this bad boy open and give it a taste. It's a really exciting time, so. It is very serendipitous I got that glass. So without further ado, let's break it open and give it a try. Oh, so excited. I'm so excited, I must say. Just then I spilled every last drop. Yeah! God, it'd be mortifying. So I'll tell you right off the bat, it does have a very wine kind of aroma. Like, for those of you who do drink Pinot Noirs or red wines in general, you're going to get a very, like, sulfite-rich aroma. Not as strong as with a wine, obviously, because it's simply just aged in a wine barrel, but it's clearly there. You know what? I'm just gonna try it. Like, I really can't wait any longer. That is very different. It's not as smooth as the traditional Woodford at all. Like, it does have a lot more burn to it, but it kind of hits you in a different way. Like, whereas most bourbons kind of hit on like the back, like roof of your mouth, like as it's on its way down. This almost hits you like in the front of your mouth and then like mellows out the more, the further it gets in there. So, very different experience-wise. It all, you know what it really reminds me of more than anything is like a brandy or a cognac, because it has that dark caramel flavor to it, but you still get a little bit of that grape. It's kind of like drinking like a Hennessy or Remy Martin or something like that, which is really different considering the fact that it is in fact bourbon. But I think a lot of that comes from how it was aged and its incorporation with the wine. Hennessy, any cognac in general being a byproduct of grapes, it kind of really, I think, took a toll on this. It's not bad in any right whatsoever, but it's just very different. Yeah, that one I got even more grapes off of it. Like, almost like a grape juice, but like not as sweet, but like it has like that level. That's really interesting. Like, I've never had anything conditioned quite like this. Like, again, the closest I can relate it to would be a Scotch whiskey that's aged in sherry barrels, which many are. It has like that kind of roundness to it. I am not picking up on any of the telltale Woodford flavor per se. Like, if you were to give this to me in like a blind taste test, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you that it's a Woodford Reserve product just because of how different it is. The only other bourbon that I've had out of this box that I could say comes close to this as far as like how unusual it is would be like the Stag Junior or the Yellowstone that I tasted. It's definitely not cliche in any way. So, you know, the argument could be made that this, if you didn't know what it was, you could think that maybe it wasn't bourbon at all. You know, it could have been like a really fine scotch, or it could have been, again, like I've had the Hennessy Distillers Select before, which is like a limited edition Hennessy cognac, and that is what this tastes the most similar to. So, just very unique, very different. If you have the opportunity to try this, I would say absolutely give it a try, but just be prepared that it's completely different. This really makes me want to try the other bottles in the series to kind of feel them out and see how they differ. But I'm excited about this kind of thing because it shows that the guys at Woodford aren't just sitting around like mass producing the same thing over and over again. They're actually taking the time to kind of elaborate and try new things and like really push the envelope, you know? The only other distillery I can think of that does anything like that would be like Breckenridge, because they're constantly trying to like reinvent themselves and like try different angles on their bourbon and really kind of, you know, push what the limits of their bourbon is and like how far they can go. And I'll get around to reviewing Breckenridge bourbon because I do really enjoy their product, but I also really enjoy Woodford Reserve. So this was a real treat, I gotta say. Like, this is probably, it's almost too good to be true because this is really what I was hoping I was going to get for the final bourbon out of this Advent calendar. I mean, a small part of me was hoping also that it would be like the Angel's Envy, 2 years aged in the cask, like the $280 bottle, but my close second was going to be a Woodford Reserve product, and I didn't think that they were just going to put regular old Woodford in there, so I'm glad that they went out of their way to get something really, truly unique for the final bourbon in this calendar. I can't imagine a happier ending. Can you? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. What would it have been? But yeah, just definitely let me know in the comments below if you've ever had this, what your experience was with it, and what it is that you're sipping on this Christmas Eve and what you're going to be drinking on Christmas. And, you know, I just got to give you guys a toast Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Thank you so much for joining me for this series. Next year, I might do something a little bit different. I might choose a different company to do an Advent Calendar review, or I might do something completely different from this entirely and do an entirely new holiday special. But consider this the beginning of something great. This is the very last episode of our holiday special, but the very first episode of the Bourbon Bender series for the year of 2019. So I'm going to finish up this bourbon, finish decorating my tree, and go to bed, and tomorrow it's going to be Christmas. So I have to say Merry Christmas to all, and to all, a good night.